morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whenever and wherever you are. This is Alea Leyland, and this is the Enchanted Life Salon on lwttv.com and Blog Talk Radio. And tonight I'm doing something a little bit different than what I've done in the past. So bear with me if it tends to get a little strange, because I'm actually attempting to do a video of the broadcast. I want to share some tools and tips on how to deal with the bummer days. I thought that maybe I would record it as a video as well and be able to put it on the website. I want to do just a little tiny bit of housekeeping because there's a couple of things I want to remind you of. One, we're still the contest for naming the Gemstone Alchemy show is still going on, and it will be going on through the month of June. So the idea is to help me name that show, because I'm just not real good at naming things, and I know where my strengths lay, and that's not one of the places. So if you can send in what you think would be a good name for the Gemstone Alchemy show that comes on Fridays, I would absolutely appreciate it. Whoever sends in the winning name will receive a gemstone reading and a talisman piece of jewelry in return for you putting on your thinking caps and supplying something to me. I'm looking forward to some of the things that you guys send in, or all of the things you send in. Some of you have sent in some pretty cool ones already, so I'm excited about that. Tonight I want to sort of look at something that happened to me this past week, and I know that it happens to you guys as well, where you're like going, everything was going really well, and I'm most of the time a real positive and upbeat person, but lately I have just been having bummer days, and I'm not sure what the bummer days are about. I don't know what to do about them, but nonetheless they are a bummer, and I really want to fix that. I first of all want to kind of look at what causes bummer days. I mean, I know for myself, I seldom have a bummer day, and actually before I came to live in Hawaii, most of the people who knew me thought that I never had a bummer day, because whenever they saw me, I was always happy, I was always upbeat, I was always like Ms. Super Positive. And so they thought that, that's the way I was all the time. The truth of the matter was that sometimes I wasn't having a really fabulous day. But what I tended to do, and what my current lifestyle doesn't allow me to do, and so I've had to find other ways, is that when I didn't feel all up and bubbly and happy and like the world was my, bowl of cereal, so to speak, I just didn't go out. People didn't see me. I would drive my motorhome out to the middle of nowhere and park it and go to sleep. So no one knew that I was having a bummer day, because I didn't interact. And I think that I almost feel as though that is our natural rhythm. We have become so inundated with being on all the time and being connected all the time, and until we expect more of ourselves, I think, than is actually the way that we are. And so if we wake up one day and we don't feel like totally chipper and all, oh, gee, what's the world got to show me today? We feel like we've failed somehow, and that we have to take a pill or, I don't know, do something so that, we'll be all chipper again. And I don't think that that's really the way that we're meant to be. I think that there's an ebb and flow to how we feel on any given day at any given time, and that if we honor that, some days we are not going to be as chipper as others, and some days we're going to feel like being quiet, and some days we're just going to want to sit and stare out the window. But there are other things also that I think keeps us from being enchanted. And as you know, the Enchanted Life Salon is all about first of all, acknowledging that we are having an enchanted life here on planet Earth, no matter what anyone says about, BP and the energy crisis and the economy and, all the other stuff that supposedly is affecting our world. The truth is that our life is pretty enchanted, and no matter where you are on the planet. And I'm not excluding anywhere, because the fact that we can wake up in the morning and breathe, and that we can, if you have sight, that you can see. If you don't have sight, you can feel. The fact that we are in a physiological vehicle that allows us to have input, so that we know that we're alive, is a blessing, and it is enchanting and magical in and of itself. Whatever else comes after that is bonus. And so I'm saying that, and I'm sure you guys are watching me and looking at me and listening to me and saying, hey, I thought she said that she was going to give us some tools about dealing with bummer days. And I am. But I want to first of all acknowledge that most of the days are not bummers. And even the ones that are bummers are probably either a natural ebb and flow of what life is, or they are a result of some place that we have put ourselves, that we can remove ourselves from and shift. So I'm going to sort of share with you the things that, in my experience, have been things that caused me to experience what I would call a bummer day. And first of all, one of those is lack of rest, lack of sleep, lack of alone time, lack of downtime or meditation time. Too much, as my teenage self would call it, too much mental masturbation. Just too much running stuff in your head and not having any input from spirit, from God, from higher self, none of that. Just that little, hamster on a treadmill kind of thing, where you're just, I wonder when I'm gonna. And the more you do that, the less connected you are. And the less connected you are, the closer you get into a bummer day. Another thing that I have noticed for myself that causes bummer days, and my clients seem to agree that they have bummer days around this thing too, is change. Change is scary. It's not something that we put way up there on our list and say, oh yeah, I'm going to have some change today. That's not the way we usually look at the world. We usually look at it and go, oh my God, how's this going to turn out? I just don't know. I did all the pros and cons, and I did my meditations and my affirmations and my visualizations, and I made my vision board, and I did everything, but how is it going to turn out? I really wish I had some kind of guarantee. So the anticipation of change is something that sometimes causes bummer days, because it puts us on the hamster wheel. And getting on the hamster wheel has no end, and usually is, is headed down the wrong way. Another thing that causes us to, I think, feel not at the top of our game is the news. And I don't choose to listen to the news. I try to make it a point not to watch the news and not to read it and not to listen to it. But when there's something big going on in the world, like the BP thing, like when 9/11 happened, like with the election, whatever, when big things are going on in the world, everybody's talking about it. There is no escape. If you go out in the world, somebody is going to say something to you about it, and then you're going to comment, and then, or even if you're walking down the street and you don't talk to anybody, you're going to hear it. You'll hear it over news things as you're walking past a store. You will hear people talking about it in their conversation. If you're on the internet, there's Facebook and MySpace and the Yahoo News thing. It's hardly possible to escape it. So the news is another one. And when we come back from break, I'm going to share with you a few others that I think contribute to our lack of calmness and peace of mind because of what's around us and ways to get out of it.